and welcome back to Rage Gaming, and welcome back to an Elden Ring video. It's been about 6 or 7 weeks since I last got to make a video for this game, as we continue the constant silence that is From Software and Shadow of the Erdtree. In my last video, I said I expect the next thing for From Software and its agenda, it's got to be Elden Ring and its DLC. Now that Armored Core's had its release and its initial cycle, will the next focus be Shadow of Erdtree? And therefore we'll finally get a teaser, announcement, trailer, a release date, something. Anything at all. Well, we're still waiting, but maybe for not too much longer. Very interestingly, Jeff Keeley was at the From Software offices just last week, posting a picture online thanking them for allowing him to see their new office. Now, Jeff has a history of being around developers not long before announcements. It makes sense. He runs various gaming awards shows and news shows, celebrating games, creating basically a fantastic platform for game announcements now that E3 is in the dust. Jeff has been doing rounds this month in Japan, meeting with different teams and posting pictures with different prominent figures, and yes, he went to From Software. Now, if Jeff was looking for information or potential teams to work with to have them announce things at one of his shows, well, going to speak with them in person is logical. It does also build hype when he posts these pictures, and he knows that. So there's that, but we also have something else very interesting that came up this month. A recent interview via Games Industry, a well-known and respected source for gaming news. The interview was with Arnold Muller, the Europe CEO for Bandai Namco. The topic, maintaining momentum post Elden Ring, a massive challenge when there hasn't actually been, the usual paid content update we normally would have seen by now after a Soulsborne release. The interview opens with the main event, Elden Ring's massive success and the incredible year that was 2022 for Bandai and From Software and the parent company Kadokawa. Muller explained that as a result of that success, the following year of 2023 was expected to be all about maintaining the momentum that created. The interviewer asked Muller how well they feel that they've rose to that challenge, and Muller immediately brought up the incoming DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree. Unfortunately, I really wish we could have read the exact words that he said, because that's just not included here, instead of this sort of vague recap of the interaction, which is, frustrating, but at the same time, it could be that whatever words he said, the exact words, maybe they weren't allowed to disclose directly, and that's why we're left with this. Anyway, apparently he said that the DLC was announced this year and is due to release soon in follow-up to how have they maintained that momentum. Due to release soon. Very interesting. It's obviously good news, but what did he say? It continued on to highlight how currently their focus is on Armored Core 6, the main aspect of Bandai and FromSoft relationship right now. Their focus is still Armored Core 6. It had been previously said by Muller that the success of Elden Ring was expected to directly influence the success of Armored Core 6 before its release. Because Elden Ring was such a huge hit, they basically anticipated the AC6 audience is going to be bigger because of it, and well, it seems they were right. The article references how Armored Core 6 topped the UK box charts, the US monthly charts, and the European listings, currently as one of the best-selling games of the year globally. It's no secret that Armored Core 6 was a big success for that series, and it is very good to see. It's also interesting to see how one game's massive success, being Elden Ring, can push new players to other games from the same team or company. After all, on September 26th, it was announced that Sekiro had officially sold 10 million units globally. To me, that says there's still a massive rollover from the sheer scope of Elden Ring's reach and the success of it, that it can push so many to various previous releases. Sekiro is one of the best games I've ever played, so I'm very happy to see the success there. It was Game of the Year 2019, and it absolutely deserved it. Unfortunately for us and our desire for more Elden Ring conversation and specifics, the article continues on to Bandai Namco's other titles and plans this year and the future, and other details about that. It is still an interesting read and I do recommend it, but that is where it ends for us, specifically with Elden Ring. In short then, it tells us they expect the release of the DLC to be soon, which surprises me considering the lack of any new information, teasers, a release date, or any of that. Where's the marketing or PR? In regards to soon, well, would you not think 2023? The very first thing Muller brought up in regards to how they're following up on the momentum of Elden Ring is the DLC and that it's coming soon. As I talked about last time, some of the most important information we've had since the announcement and the speculation for the DLC comes from the Kadokawa financial reports. These are reports for investors to understand the current state of Kadokawa and the companies under it. It is the parent company of From Software. A big topic in these reports then, especially the last one, is Elden Ring and how insanely impactful it has been. These reports follow the fiscal year, meaning they actually end with March each year, so it's not 2023 like December, but March 31st. So there is a genuine hope for me that March 31st or sooner could be the DLC launch date. If that is true, we could expect some information and general marketing to hype it up pretty soon. It's been speculated for some time now that it could be they're going to release the game around the 2-year anniversary or on the anniversary, which means late February, and that would fit before the March 31st end of fiscal year thing. I could 100% believe Kadokawa expecting or pressuring From Software to match that deadline, but I could also see From Software releasing the game and the DLC when it's ready and not before, which I don't think is a bad thing. But let's circle back. Armored Core 6 remains Bandai and FromSoft's current focus. Bandai helps FromSoft publish their games. Obviously, they make money through that relationship and partnership. Therefore, they want the games to be a success. They want the releases to be as hyped as possible. With Christmas coming up, it stands to reason that the Armored Core PR push is far from over, and they're kind of referencing that. The game could continue to make good sales through the holiday. As the wait for Elden Ring DLC continues, more people might actually consider trying Armored Core 6, and with Christmas it makes sense. It's very common to see games released in the months prior to Christmas intentionally, which, obviously gives them a boost of new sales. The thing is with AC6, August is quite a while before Christmas. When I say release before Christmas, I imagine around October or November. If Bandai were to begin marketing for Shadow of the Erdtree and prep for Christmas, then I would actually have some hope for a 2023 release. But as that hasn't happened yet, and Armored Core is still their quote focus, I think they're going to continue to push Armored Core, probably keep Elden Ring quiet compared. If that complete speculation was true, what does he mean by soon for the DLC release? I think March 31st or before. It's going to be really important that Kadokawa follows up on the promise of making Elden Ring a continued success and that they continue to support it. I think they've done a good job compared to any other Soulsborne release with adding or changing new content. We have never seen so many patches and patches that separate PvP and PvE in this way. Tiny content updates with new NPCs and storyline progressions like the Jar Village and patches. There's been like all these subtle map updates as well. Obviously there's the Colosseum and the dedicated PvP matchmaking, all before official paid DLC. Normally you'd expect these things to come with one of those. So they've undeniably supported the game in between an actual DLC release, but at a certain point paid DLC means money, and surely they want that to help push the company's numbers for the fiscal year of 2023. Maybe if they time it right, it will be right as the turnover goes into 2024, which would actually bolster the following year's numbers too. The more I think about it then, March seems possible, as much as I like the idea of a 2-year anniversary release as well. If that were true, when would we actually expect announcements? Well, with Jeff visiting different offices in Japan and the whole idea of him looking for agreements to maybe announce projects at one of his shows, such as the little show called the Game Awards on December 7th, well, that would be a very good place. But yeah, it's been nice to have something to talk about and speculate a bit, put together what we have. It is still just a waiting game, of course, but considering the situation and the information we have, a Shadow of Erdtree release date revealed at the upcoming Game Awards, I'd say it's possible. But what do you guys think? Shadow of Erdtree released this year? Or maybe the fiscal year of 2023, so technically 2024? Or worse, even later? I hope not. For now though, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.